person.
Good Monday morning or evening, depending on where you are and where you're listening to us. But you guys are listening to Author Talk, and you guys know me, Amy, here with Sandy today, Russell, and our lovely guest, Chris Smith. So everybody, hey, how are you guys doing? How was your weekend?
Happy New Year.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Happy New
Year.
Yeah, awesome
I had
weekend.
a great weekend. I drove yesterday to New Orleans and had lunch at Mother's, which is the most famous shrimp poor boy place in the French Quarter, watching the Sugar Bowl madness. And then we stopped in Mobile and had dinner at this weird chef hippie place in Mobile, Alabama. How does any of that go together? It was crazy, but it was great. And I'm in Atlanta today, freezing to death.
Well, we're all freezing, okay? Houston and Brian are both cold, so.
But Chris, where is Chris from?
Chris, what's the weather like where you are?
It's a chilly 26 degrees.
That is chilly. That is chilly.
No. We go in Celsius, so it's warm here. It's summer down here in South Africa. So we've got good weather. Yeah.
Where are you in South Africa, Chris?
I'm down on the east coast of South Africa, KwaZulu-Natal. So right by the beach. We actually just spent a bit of time on the beach this morning. So it's
nice.
At 26 degrees, we were out on the beach.
It's Celsius. Though.
He meant Celsius.
Oh, okay, that's right. Sorry, I missed that.
He had us there for a minute when he said 26, and we're like, hey, that's what we woke up to. But then
I gotta tell you, that's a bad start for Chris.
What does 26 degrees Celsius equal in Fahrenheit?
Hot. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to say hot. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there. Well, nice. I love that. I love that it's warm because it's usually, hot as heck in Texas. So we can relate to you, Chris. Just not at the moment because it's like, not ice again this year. Hopefully not. But it's cold outside.
Good summer there, Amy.
I know. I wish I lived there where it was summer all the time. I love the summer. Now, okay, hold on. I take it back. I like the summer because I have air conditioning and I can get cool. Okay. Now, if I didn't have that and it was just a breeze, then I'm not a nice person. You don't want to talk to me.
But I do like to every now and then have a fire in the fireplace. And so this is one of our first times this year to be able to do that. So that's
see, I don't know. I could do without. The best fire, and Russell will appreciate this because I'm not a camper, but the best fire is a campfire. That is the best fire.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the best fire. Get some nice big steaks out on the grill there.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what did you do this weekend in South Africa? You went to the beach. This is a beach weekend.
No, I'm actually on a farm that's quite close to the beach, and we've got bass dams here. So did a bit of fishing, recently got a new mountain bike. So I've been doing a bit of riding. It's quite a mixed
You're such a sportsman.
Trying to get fit again. I've had a few shoulder and knee injuries from rugby, so trying to get back into it now.
From rugby? I like how he just throws that out there from rugby. I've never met a rugby player, and so it is nice to meet you because I think that is a very contact. I think it's harder than football. And I like football, Russell. Don't give me hell. I like football. But I feel like rugby is more, you mad at someone, you play rugby with them and go against them and you can just body slam them. I feel like that is, the coolest thing.
There are some rules and things there. No, all my rugby was purely amateur, low level.
Okay.
The professionals are ridiculously big and ridiculously quick. I mean, you see the size of some of these guys. It's scary.
Yes, that is for sure. But still, I am now I can say I have met a rugby player because that is just the coolest thing to me. And I absolutely love it. Yes, Russell, you unmuted yourself. I have a feeling you want to
That means he's getting ready to talk.
I'm sure he's going to give me hell.
I'm waiting for the viewers. And I got to tell you this, everyone that's watching this, and we actually get more people listening during the week on the podcast that don't see it than just watch it live. We have a nice little audience that watch it live, Chris. But then we have people on the podcast channels listening to it all week. And that's where most people listen. So they can't even see me about to explode over here. But I got to keep my jokes to myself until we get to Chris's subjects that he writes about, it because it's about to drive me crazy. I'm so glad that Chris is with us today, especially being such a sportsman. But I want to thank everyone that's listening to us on our podcast. That's how most people listen to us. And I got to tell, we actually last month, we were the 13th most listened to book podcast in America on the podcast channels that we are, which we were shocked about. This month, December, we moved up to number 12. So, wow. So I've achieved my goals for the year, but on the first day of the year.
Hey, we're actually up to number 9 in the book category, indie books on Good Pods. We're actually currently number 9 in their top 100. A big shout out to Greg Kelsa, who is on. John is listening. Nadita, hey, good morning. Happy New Year. And yes, I know, Nadita, we are super proud. So big shout out because Greg also shares his podcast and author talk on some of his groups that he's a part of in Good Pods. So he helps us out in that way. And we do want to say one quick thing that, our hearts go out to Greg. And so if you have any time, a minute or whatever, just send him a comforting message. He's going through a hard time. The start to the new year wasn't the best start. So just send him over some love. We love Greg. I'm his biggest fan.
We love you, Greg. Been praying for you.
Prayers are with you, Greg.
Yes, absolutely. So, Russell, did you do anything else that was like fun? Yes, go ahead.
Amy, I'm past that, because what I'm obsessed with now is I've been chewed out all last week when I posted about that we are now number 12. Is my wife can't even find us on the podcast. She's like, how can you be number 12 now if I can't even find you? So here's my question. Would you please tell people again how they can find us and where on the podcast? Because I'm getting it from the bedroom. It's terrible.
I understand. So where we are currently ranked is on Good Pods, is where we're number 9 in the indie book charts. And we have all the other ratings that I posted last week in Good Pods is in their top 100. So we're on any podcasting network, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart. We're on all of those. If you have any of those apps, you just type in Author Talk, and let me show you what the photo looks like. That way you guys know which one it is, because there's more than one. But this way everybody knows what the image looks like, which is this one right here, Hearing Author Stories. And that is going to be us. They're uploaded right after we go live video-wise on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But you type that in, and then it will pop up like this. If I zoom in, which you can't see, it says that we are currently number 9. This is on Good Pods, which is actually a really big podcasting channel, outlet, platform, one of those, whichever one reaches your heart's desire. So that is how you find us. But other than that, we're just excited that people are listening to us. We do this because we love hearing author stories and we love hanging out with each other. So thank you guys for listening to us and sharing all of our videos and audio in all of these podcasting networks, stations, all of that. But that is how you find us, Russell. I will send out, I'll do it. I'll see if I can do like a video thing and show you how to find it. But I'm sorry that you were getting such flack for that, because it is a legit thing. Legit.
It's terrible. Even my sister sent me a nasty text. How do I know? I can't find you. Blah, 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 blah. So,
okay. Well, that's what sisters do.
To do, Russell.
I know. I'm liking you more all the time, Chris. I don't. I cannot wait till Sandy gets to start questioning you, so I can start cracking the jokes.
Well, let's start it. Sandy, take it away. Take it away.
So, Chris, I'm on your Facebook page. I'm also on your Amazon page, your author page there. So excited. I first want to find out, how did you hear about Author Talk from South Africa?
So I'm signed with Dusty Saddle Publishing, and I've been reaching out to them and saying, listen, I want to get more exposure. I'd like to be on podcasts. This is what I'm trying to do. And Katrina actually got hold of me and recommended you guys. And I got hold of Amy, and here I am. Yeah, that was scheduled.
Yay! I love that.
I think
Well,
about,
thank you, Katrina.
Thank you, Katrina, aka Athena. So we love Athena. She was here in the States for a while and got kind of trapped here because of the COVID stuff. So we miss you, Athena.
Hey, don't knock COVID. I'm married because of COVID.
Really? Well, that sounds like a great story.
Had to move back from Durban to the coast because of the lockdown. We had a national lockdown where you weren't allowed out of your house basically, except to go to the shops. And then met up with a girl that I'd been at school with for, I don't know how many years, 3-4 years. Got in touch, got chatting, met up, got invited over for supper, and then 8 months later we were married.
Wow.
So does that mean that
Congratulations,
you
Chris.
were sneaking out of your
No,
restrictions?
the lockdown
'Cause that's what that
lockdown
sounds like to
over
me.
by then. Just have to highlight though that her dad is a professional hunter. So on the first night that I came over for supper, he showed me his gun collection, which is vast. And I heard about how he can shoot from a kilometer away. And you know, I'm not stupid. I could put 2 and 2 together. So I decided, okay, I understand what's going on here. I'll have another date with him. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That is good. That is a good story.
Told me more and more about his exploits during your counterterrorism, that kind of a thing. And I thought, okay, well, when she said we're getting married, I just went with it, and here we are, happily married.
Very nice.
I love it. Well, congratulations. I love it. I love it.
You know, my first question for you about your book. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What did you say?
No worries. I was just saying, happy wife, happy life.
Yes. We agree with that. Don't we, Russell? Russell, it's not the
comment. No, I get in trouble whether my wife's happy or not. I want to get to the book.
I know. So, Chris, my first question for you about the books is, why Westerns? I mean, here you are in South Africa and you're writing about Westerns from the United States. So how did you get interested in that?
2 words, Louis L'Amour. Always loved Louis L'Amour's Westerns. When I was growing up, I've always been an avid reader. I think I read Call of the Wild when I was about 8.
Jack London, yes.
Moby Dick at about age 8, was reading Dick Francis, Agatha Christie's, and then always enjoyed Westerns. So my favorites from the Louis L'Amour era were the Sackett brothers. Always loved their stories, and that just my background is actually in financial accounting, and had a bit of time at work one day. Always enjoyed history and English at school, and one day just decided, okay, I'm going to write a book. It was always on the bucket list. So I started writing, got to about 20,000 words, gave it to my brother to read. I've got a twin brother, by the way. And he enjoyed it and said, okay, cool, what happens next? Where's the story going? And it took me about 2.5 years, but I finished the first book, which was Blood on the Range, Caught in the Crossfire.
So you write in series, it looks like, for a lot of your books. They're in a series.
Yeah, so I started with the stories about Nate Todd, which are the Blood on the Range ones, and the whole universe that I write in is Blood on the Range. And I'm a big fan of the NCIS TV series, and I love the way they interact with each other, and they tie into MacGyver and into Hawaii 5.0 and Magnum PI and all that. And I think the other one was Scorpion. And you always have the characters doing crossovers and featuring in each other's shows. So I wrote my first 2 Nate Todd books, hoping there'll be shows one day. And I had some bounty hunters featuring there, a team of bounty hunters that came along to help him. Originally, they're after him, and then they end up helping him. And I really enjoyed the characters. So that's where Steve Savage, Bounty Hunter, came from.
Very good. So, and then you have one about a bounty hunter,
Yeah,
Steve Savage, right?
Yeah. So that's set probably about 15 to 20 years before the Nate Todd books. And I wanted to develop the character. So it's all about how he goes from being a simple rancher to a bounty hunter, and why, and how he improves his skills. So, yeah, I didn't want Rambo. I didn't want somebody who's invincible immediately and can take on an army of guys. I wanted to build the character up a bit.
So you have a new series starting.
Yeah, it's called Jim Taylor, Mountain Man. So again, set within the same Blood on the Range universe. I've made him a cousin of Steve Savage, and Steve actually features in that first book. And then it's just to get the link there and give my readers somebody they're familiar with, but it's all told from Jim's perspective. And then started the next book. What's it? This is day 3 of writing, and I'm almost 10,000 words in.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get a book per month. That's the goal. Personally, though, I'd like to get out about 13 or 14 books this year. They're shortish. They're about 35,000 to 40,000 words.
So out of the blue, you have this. So right in the middle of all these westerns and series and everything, you have a fantasy novel, a dark fantasy novel, as a matter of fact, it says on Amazon. So tell us about that. Why in the middle of all these westerns did you decide to write a dark fantasy novel?
The Dusty Saddle Publishing actually started a horror imprint called Raventail. And I'd actually started this book, or sort of put a plan together about, I think it was about 2015, 2016. I've always been a big fan of Underworld and Blade and all those kinds of fantasy movies. I love the Marvel cinematic universe. So that's kind of where the teaming up aspects come from. And yeah, I just wanted to write about, I just had the story in my head, jotted down a few notes, and I didn't think I'd have the chance to write it. I'd mentioned it to Nick Whale, who's my publicist. And when they started the horror imprint, he said, okay, well, here's a chance, just run with it. Let's see what you can do. And that's where Damon Queller came from.
Very good. That's exciting. Well, so you had some questions you wanted to ask Chris as well.
Okay, I'm dying to ask this. When on the current book that I'm writing now, I'm writing about a trial and courtroom in a particular place, and I had trouble getting to that location to eyeball the location to write in it. So, what part of the United States is your westerns in, and how do you do your geographical knowledge of it so you can write about it? I'm dying to hear this.
Good question. So the Savages are set in California. Sorry, the Nate Todd is there in California, and the Savages start off there and then move down through Utah, New Mexico, Texas, then going up towards Idaho. I've had to do a lot of research. Obviously, haven't been to the States. That's still one of the things I need to tick off on my bucket list. As I was mentioning to you before, love to get an RV. I've got to go with my twin brother and fly fish our way across the United States. That's the dream. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I've had to do a lot of research. Wikipedia is brilliant. I've also had to look up maps, get descriptions from other books. Like I said, I've read a lot of Westerns. So when I'm in a particular area, Louis L'Amour always used to say that he wrote about what he'd seen. So I don't put too much description into my books. I want you to know that, listen, Amy's in a room, or Chris and Russell went to town. And while they were in town, they saw a bank robbery in progress, and they managed to catch the bank robber. So you've got your basic outline, but you don't need to know that Russell was wearing this. You can have a brief description that you've got a beard, that I'm clean shaven. You don't need to know that I've got a blue shirt. So I do put in a bit of description on what the places look like and try and get some details from the internet and other books and things like that. But I try not to get too bogged down in detail. So I want the books to be about the story, not about the location, if that makes sense.
It does. And you said you've written this horror book from like 2015.
Yeah, the Damon Queller book. I'd put together an outline for that. This was before I'd actually been published. Sandy mentioned earlier that she'd been reading through a few manuscripts and things, the first 3 chapters. So I actually approached, I think it was about 120 literary agents and publishing houses, and kept getting rejection after rejection after rejection. So I just self-published. And then a guy called Cole Wren, who's actually from Texas as well, gave me a 5-star rating on Amazon.
That's a pretty cool name. I might need to steal that. What's that name again?
Yeah. Cole Wren, R-E-H-N. Actually, an awesome guy. He's actually a musician and a gun range instructor. So found him on Facebook. We got chatting. And
naturally, he's a gun range instructor if his name's Carl Wren.
Exactly.
Right.
Awesome guy. And yeah, he just gave me a bit of direction there. Signed with another publisher who unfortunately went under during COVID. So then I got the rights to my books back, and then had to just basically go out about it again, finding another publisher. So this time I got a little bit smart, and I said publishers who publish Westerns. So my list went from thousands to 19, sent out emails, and I think 2 days later I got contacted by DS Publishing, Dusty Saddle Publishing, and an hour later I was on a Zoom call to Nick, and that was it. Yeah, just fantastic service.
That is great. That's very fast.
Do you have characters from your locations? How do you create a sense of place if not through description? Is one of our watchers is asked.
So I do have descriptions on the place, but I'll say, for example, that they're up on the mountains. It's cold. There's a lot of snow around, so he's pulling his buffalo skin robe around him, or buffalo coat around him, just to ward out the chill. But I don't go into detail about how there's a flower over there and there's a flower over there and what kind of trees he ducks into when he's shot at. I'll just say he took cover behind a tree. So I do put in enough detail for you to know what the location's like and where you are. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I've read a few books where you read 2 or 3 pages of detail on the description of the character and the place, and you know that this character has a mole on the back of their left hand, and that their favorite color is purple, and they had a dog named Fluffy when they were 6. It doesn't add to the story. It's quite often that'll put me off a book. So I like to write the way I like to read. So it's not everybody's cup of tea. But
I agree. I think some people put way too much detail. So there is a happy balance. You do want people to be able to visualize what your story.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll say that, like in the latest book that I'm writing, the guy goes into a saloon. It's Jim Taylor. He's gone into a saloon now. You can see there are a lot of different people there. They're trappers. There are 1 or 2 businessmen from the east around. There are a lot of gamblers in the back. There's a guy passed out because he's been drinking too much. So you get an idea of what's happening. There's a guy playing the piano in the back and a guy accompanying him on a bit of a screechy violin, and some guys who are singing a little bit off key. So it gives you an idea of the vibe, but you don't have to go into too much detail. I'm explaining the scene in 2, maybe 3 paragraphs, and then the rest is again explanations. Yeah, Russell.
How did they find your books to buy them? Can you tell us that? How did we find your books to buy them?
All of my books are on Amazon. The easiest way is to look for them under Steve Savage, Bounty Hunter, or Blood on the Range, Caught in the Crossfire. So those are generally the easiest way. The Steve Savage is probably the easiest. Don't look for Chris Smith. There are probably a couple of thousand of us on Amazon. And if you look for Chris Smith on Facebook, you will find millions. I couldn't even find myself when I was trying to look from a friend's computer.
How do we find you online? Yes, Sandy.
When I put in Chris Smith -author, which is what you had said, or just Chris Smith author, you came up. I could see. Now I could see you here. I recognize what you look like as well, but it came up. It was one of the first ones, and I love that on your Facebook page, which I did like it. You have your call to action, which, remember, and I am a publicist, or was a publicist until I retired. So marketing is always, in the forefront for me and my visibility. But his call to action says shop on website. So you click that, it goes immediately to his Amazon page, or to a page on Amazon which has one of his books. And then you can find all of his books from there. So that's a great call to action. Shop. So you're going to go, and it says Amazon.com. You're going to Amazon to get the books. And I think that's an easy way to find it. So, Russell, in answer to your question, it's very easy to find that from Facebook.
See, I went the hard route because I went to Amazon and did what Chris told me not to do, which was type in Chris Smith in the book section. And then I just literally was clicking on the name, going to their profile, and I was like, these are Westerns. This looks like him. Okay, this is it. It took me a little bit. I went through like 3 or 4 of them, but I did find your author profile, which I have put that link in the comment section for you. Everyone that wants to check out his books or just get to know Chris, I put your Amazon author profile in there. It has the link to all of your books and everything like that. Okay. I'm all about like concise and quick to the point kind of thing. That's how I am. I'm like, as long as it's convenient, I can click on it, peruse, see what I want. I'm good, So okay. That's what I did. But yes, I did what you told me not to do. And so it's okay if you do what he said not to do, because you will eventually find him. Hey, your covers stand out, by the way. I'm going to share my screen for a minute because they do stand out. I feel like I kind of get a sense of what the book is about from a cover. And I'm one of those, they say not to judge a book by its cover. They are lying, because I definitely always do. And these, I feel like, for me, I get the feel of like your fantasy and your Westerns. So hopefully everybody can see these. I know it's we'll just put everybody away for a minute. But check these out. Like, you can clearly tell this is a Western. Like, look at the long rifle. I feel like this is like one of those where they're doing their like battle, the draw or whatever it is that they do, the shoot off. I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of Westerns, okay? My terminology is off. I watched John Wayne movies growing up, but that's about it. But these are like fabulous covers. So if nothing else, you guys go check out the covers of his books, because they are really amazing. And the font is just lovely. Anyways, I'm sorry. I went down a rabbit hole.
No worries. I do that all the time. The easiest way to find me is just Chris Smith author. I'm also on LinkedIn if anybody wants to get in touch. More than happy to chat. Actually trying to build up a network of illustrators, editors, all that kind of thing. Because from my own personal experience, when I started off, I had no idea what a literary agent was. Didn't know how to find a publisher, that sort of thing. So every single week, we're actually on break at the moment, but we host a thing called basically a Zoom meeting called When Ink Can Talk. And the whole concept is to try and tie illustrators up with editors and then movie producers, that sort of thing. So I'm always willing to chat to people. And like I said, finding me Chris Smith author is the easiest way. If you look for Christopher Smith, you're looking for days. There are millions of us.
So what's your next step? What's your next step? What's your next step? What's coming out next? What's your plans for this year in publishing? You said you're writing a book a month?
Yeah. A new book, Jim Taylor, Mountain Man, is I've actually just got the cover for that. I received that today from Nick, and that's being launched tomorrow. And I started writing the next book, the next Jim Taylor Mountain Man adventure. This one's Jim Taylor Mountain Man, The Lost Mine. So I'm about 10,000 words into that. I'm trying to stick to about 3,500 words a day and just keep pumping them out like that. So hopefully down the line, I've been getting in touch with a few producers, screenwriters, that sort of thing. I'd love to see it as a movie franchise or a TV series on Netflix. I got a 5-star review from Reader's Favorite for the first Steve Savage book, and they actually said it would be a really nice TV series to have Steve and his gang of bounty hunters tracking down and taking out a bad guy each week. So
well, I'm currently reading a Western.
Congratulations!
Absolutely. So I think that's a great goal, and you're moving in that direction. I love that you have a publicist, and I love that the publicist is in the UK and you're in South Africa, and your books are about the United States. So you have global books with global attraction, and marketing, like I said, is always where I put my focus. So congratulations on doing that. So, Amy, I believe we're just about 30 minutes in, and before
I know. Yes, I know. I am back. It's been a Monday morning, everybody. When you think everything's just smooth sailing, it lies to you. Okay, never believe a Monday that's smooth sailing, because something's going to happen at some point in the day.
Amy, do not create that. It is a great Monday. Everything happening is wonderful, and
it's a wonderful thing. It's just nothing's going to plan, and those are the best days, but still. Anyways, I'm getting signals from our timekeeper, so I'm going to wrap us up really, really quick. I promise. Tonight, Through the Eyes of Authors is back with our Monday night trainings, and we have Ray Dimon, I believe. I know I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. I try really hard. But he is talking to us about Kroger getting in there to do book signings and selling books, and how that can be beneficial for authors. So you're definitely... Well, not to her, but to everybody else, it's very beneficial. But you are going to want to join us tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors. She has learned the word no, and it is her favorite word, so just ignore her temporarily. Anyway, you're going to want to join us. But, Chris, we want to thank you so much for being on with us tonight, or this morning, nighttime for you, morning for us. So with that, closing statements, I'm going to do Russell first.
Oh, Chris, thank you so much. I am going to check out your books, and I really think I really want to see how close you come to the guy that you read all these years, and you've written so many books now that I think you may really have something, especially if you get this 5-star. So I can't wait to read it.
Awesome. Start with Nate Todd, with the Blood on the Range, Caught in the Crossfire. That's the first book. And then the second one is Breaking of a Bad Man. And yeah, the books they're quite cheap for the Kindle version. I think it's $1.14. So it's like getting a cup of coffee. Not too bad at all.
Wonderful.
And I can read them on my brand new Kindle that Amy gave me for Christmas. So thank you, Amy. And thank you, Chris, for being on. I'm so glad that Athena recommended you contact us. Amazing. I can't wait to read the books. And I know Greg has a Western. He normally writes fantasy, and he wrote a Western. So kind of the opposite of what you've done. So Thank you, Chris. Can't wait for everybody that we know to see you and fall in love with you and your books. And we'll be watching on Netflix to see when your books. So make sure you let us know when Netflix picks up the books.
Yeah, remember us little people, okay? Remember us when that happens, okay? We knew you. We knew you. But
I'll come back on the show. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. You are welcome anytime. You are welcome. As long I will get you booked after the show. You want to come back on. That's just, we love hearing the stories and the journey that you're on and where it's taking you, especially since you switch genres and everything like that. But I want to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your evening and busy work schedule, I'm sure, to come and talk to us and tell us all about your books. We love hearing about them. We love meeting new people. And we're so happy that we were referred to you. That makes us happy. and that we got to know you. We are all going to check out your books. But thank you so much for joining us on Author Talk. Make sure you catch us next Monday morning or evening, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. But we hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you all next week. Bye, everyone.